Hi all, my name is Gautam. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will show you how we can provision the EC2 instance and connect from my local machine as well as the from the console for the AWS account. As you can see that I have already created one of the AWS account, and from there I can go to the EC2 console. Then I can see that option like launch instances. If I go for the launch instances, then I can see getting started walkthrough, uh, and then I can choose that long without a walkthrough. Now the next part will comes in that this it will give you this skin where you can mention that what should be the name or what will be the name of your EC2 instance. Since it is a demo environment, then we can choose that the demo EC2. And then the next option is comes in, which is talking about the images, like what are the images we have to choose, or the OS specifically. There is a multiple images or the OS are available. Let's just start. I can start with the Amazon Linux. Then we can choose Mac, Ubuntu, Windows. I mean Red Hat. Then we can move to the SUSE Linux and Debian. Okay, and we can also choose the from custom AMIs or custom images if you have. Then the next part, which is talking about mostly the architecture. So if you have to go ahead with the x86 architecture, or you want to go with the ARM, that the things we have to choose. Then if we choose that architecture, let's say x86, it can give you which AMI ID, what is the published date, and those are the things you can see. Now the next part is that is on EC2 instance type. So if we go to the by default, it is choosing the T3 dot micro. Let's say if you have to see other instance type with all generations, then you have to enable this check, and you can see the instance type, which can show you that what are the CPU of that instance type, then what is the architecture and how, what are the architecture supported, and then what is the memory size, and if you have a storage by default, or it is coming with the storage or something like that, that the storage type, then network performance, I mean the network latency. Let's say if I want to choose that T3 micro, then I can see it support the two virtual CPUs. Architecture support only x86 64. Memory is 1 GB, and its network performance support up to 5 GB. Now, if you, let's say if I want to choose the C1.X large, which is supporting that virtual CPU, 8 virtual CPU, and supporting the architecture x86-64, then memory 7 GB, and it is on the storage. Specifically, it support that specifically 1680 GB, and storage type is a HDD, and and network performance high. But this storage type can be vary based on the choosing the instance type specifically from on the instance type setup. But for this is, since it is a very it's a demo account, so or then for demo purpose we just wanted to choose that T1.micro, and or you can see choose that T1 T2 dot small, which is the low to moderate network performance, and then select the instance type. And the next part comes in the key pair. So key pair ideally is required to log in to that EC2. So I can choose. There the options are available, which is if you go ahead without key pair, so that you can log into your EC2 from the AWS console. And if you want to choose with, let's say if you want to access that machine, want to log in that machine from your local desktop, or from your any other locations, then probably you have to choose the some you have to add that some network. So here let me add you that test is one of the KPI name which I've already created. Then the next portion is for the networking. So here I'm choosing the default network, since I haven't created any. Default network means default VPC, since I haven't created any VPC. Then subnetting will alter default, and we this the option is that auto assign public IP. So let's say if your instance is launching in the public subnet, then this option should be enabled, and you will get the IP, public IP, so that you can log in from your local network or from other machine. Then the firewall or the security groups comes in. So by default, it is allowing that SSH traffic from anywhere, but it is not recommended. Ideally, for SSH, you want to add only your specific IPs or let's say office network IPs or your local ISP IP so that you can only log in. And if you want to access, let's say you have hosted any web applications and you want to allow those applications to access from outside, then you can choose the HTTPS option or HTTP option, and that could be allowed for anywhere since HTTP will be accessible. Okay, then the next part which is comes in, that is the configure storage. So when you're talking about the configure storage, by default it is showing the 8 GB for the root volume, but you can change it as per your plan, and you can also change the instance SSD type specifically. Maybe it's a GP2, GP3, and IO1, IO2, and a magnetic, which is a standard type, so that you can maintain the throughput or those kind of things. Now, if we go to, or again, if you want to add any extra volume, then you can add that one. And if you go to the advanced click, then it will show you that if you want to new volumes or file systems is also there. But let's go with the simple stuff now. And if we want to go with the advanced details, then you can add specific directory details. Let's say if we have configured any directory, I mean, if any directory associated with this account, maybe example.com or those things, basically talking about the domain directory. Then when you're talking about the IAM instance profile, if you want to add the any instance profile with that instance, you can add it. Then auto recovery option, if you want, you can add it. Then a shutdown behavior, if you want to shut down that machine, then it will be stop or terminate. That the things you can enable here. Then stop, if you want to enable stop that machine, it will be going for the hibernate if you want to enable it, or it, it might, and if you want to disable it, then it will not go. So it is completely depends based on your requirement. Termination protection. So let's say if you want to terminate that instance by default, or by mistakenly, I mean by mistakenly, if you have terminated, if that option is enabled, and then it will be terminate. Else, if you enable, I mean, if you disable it, then it will not terminate. So that is the termination protection, and the same logic is applicable for the stop protection. And if you want to enable the detailed cloud-wise monitoring for that instance, then if you enable it, it will be enabled. Then placement groups in comes in, and then instant bandwidth configuration based on your requirement, higher bandwidth. Then purchase option. Let's say if you choose none, then it will provision the on-demand mode. And if you provision want to purchase as a spot instances, then you can choose it. Then capacity block. If you want to purchase as a capacity block, then you can use it. Or interruptible capacity reservation. Let's say if you want to reserve that things, then it will be capacity reservation. So if you choose it, then you have to choose open or specify capacity reservation. What are the reservation you have to do? You have to choose it accordingly. Then comes in the tenancy. So let's say tenancy means, when I'm talking about if you provision any instance, so it will run under the shared or dedicated host. So there is a multiple types of tenancy are available. So by default, if you do not provision anything, it will work as a shared. But if you want to change anything like the dedicated or dedicated host, then you can definitely choose it. Then it will come. So you have to put the RAM disk ID, kernel ID, and based on your requirement. Then you can choose the CPU option, upgrade, update, like if you have a default one active and total. But for this, I mean, this will be applicable for when the instance type will be big, or for specific instance type, but it will not applicable for the instance type which I have chosen. Then you can enable the Metabase access, then Metabase version. You can choose it accordingly, and then you can choose the user data. So basically, what is user data will do? Let's say you want to execute some, or you want to install some applications or web servers or something, some your own. You can pass your custom scripts which can install those kind of things. So now, if we want to go with the launch instance, let's see. After that, I just wanted to show you how you can connect your instances. So now it is, if we go to that your EC2 console, then you can see that instance is provisioning. So that instance is provisioning at the moment. If you can see this one, then if you can choose this instance type, then still it is showing that pending state. And here we can see that we have got the private IP, we have got the public IP. Since this instance was configured on the public subnet, then it can give the private DNS name, and we can see the IP address as well. I mean hostname type, and this is the public IP is auto assigned, and um, there is no IAM role since we haven't attached the IAM role, and we can get the instance ID since it is started running. And now, if I want to connect, since it is in the public IP is available for that instance, then we can do the connect, and we can see connect by public IP. That is one of the option we can connect from uh, AWS console. We do not require any SSH or those keys specifically, but yeah, I will show you how we can connect from local machine as well. We can execute your sudo since I have chosen the Linux one, Amazon Linux, so it is login with the EC2 user by default. And you can see we can get the command prompt also. But now, let's say if I go to the status and alarm section, you can see still those are initializing. This is monitoring specifically, which will show you the network byte, network packet consumption, CPU utilization, but still it is not there because those are, I mean, the instruction is still starting. So then in the security group section, you can see the security group rules specifically. Let's say here I have given the port as 22 and we can connect from any location. And then the network portion comes in. Then we can see the host name, DNS, public IP address, private IP address. So you can choose, you can put the IPv6 as well. If the IPv6 option is enabled in your PPC, and yeah, and by if you go to the storage option, then you can see the 8 GB, which is the storage, and that storage is available because there is no, and also that we can add the encryption for that EBS volumes. But since there is no, I haven't added any encryption, so there is no encryption, and delete on termination protection is enabled by default. Now, I'm trying to connect from my local machine. Let's say if I go to the putty, I can put that. No, I have to put that public IP since I have to connect from my local, and we don't have any VPN or something configured, so I cannot pass any private IP, and I'm not able to connect. But yes, so let me try now. If you can see, it is trying to connect. Now I can see EC2 user. Okay, now you can see I'm into that machine. If I enable the sudo, yep. Now we can see we are going to log in. We can see we can execute the Linux command. Let's say who pre top. I mean the basic stuff. With the Linux, we can do it. Now we can stop this one and to enable to cancel this. Yeah. So now in this demo, I have shown you like how we can provision the EC2 instances and how we can connect that EC2 instances from my local machine as well as the AWS console. Okay, now I'm going to delete that. And now if I choose that instance state, now I can see the stop instances, the reboot instance, and terminate instances. Now let me terminate the instances. Yeah, so instance is going to terminate now. It is shutting down. and eventually it is terminated. I mean, it will show the terminated option. Okay, today I'm just going to stop here. Thanks for watching.